Get ready for the Magic Valley Prepcast on IdahoSports.com.
That's right. Welcome into another off-season edition of the IdahoSports.com Prepcast family of networks here on IdahoSports.com. Throughout the summer, June and July, we will be conducting some off-season interviews with interesting guests across our entire offering of Prepcasts: the North Idaho Prepcast, the Treasure Valley Prepcast, the Magic Valley Prepcast, and the East Idaho Prepcast. Basically, every week during the summer, you're going to get an interview from one of the four regions. It may not always be the Magic Valley Prepcast, but for this week, it is. So welcome in. My name is Brandon Baney, and for those that follow the Magic Valley Prepcast ardently, they'll know that our resident and expert in the Magic Valley is the one and only Scott Burton. Scotty, hello.
Hey, what's going on, Brandon? It seems like it's been a hot minute since we've done this.
Yeah,
it's been good to be back.
Yeah, how has your summer been going so far?
Ooh, I'm still waiting for it to start, actually. It just seems like it's one job to another. It's work, and I'm waiting for a day off. But by the time that comes, it'll be August.
Well, the last time we talked to you, you were still a little under the weather, and you were getting ready to MC graduation ceremonies at Jerome High School. That went off without a hitch. And then it's been a busy year for Jerome on the back end of things as well, right? You were involved in the superintendent process this spring also, right? At Jerome.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going down. You know, we have a new super coming in, and so we'll see what his vision is. That's always an exciting yet scary time for anybody in a school district. But yeah, we've got that going on. We're got a couple of new coaches coming in. Yeah, we're excited to get going, but I'm excited to have a break first. You know, for those 3 days I get in July, I am looking forward to that.
Yeah, you're 3 days in July, and then it's right back to the grindstone for sure. So for those that may not know, Scott is the athletic director at Jerome High School, which is a Class 5A school. I've already started implementing the new lingo, Scott. Jerome is a 5A school. We got to get used to that.
Oh my! This is going to cause some conversation nightmares. You know, yeah, we're 5A. I mean, the old 4A. You know, but you're the old 5. You're 6, but you're the 5. So you like the 6 or you're the 5. You know, this is going to be a circus for about a year. You know,
I just made all of those changes on the back end on our site, IdahoSports.com, for the fall sports season. It took me almost 2 full days to do that. So.
Oh yeah, well then we've got to try to remember which individual sports are 6A, 5A, 4A, 3A, because it's not the same. So this is going to be an interesting year, and then incorporating baseball now moving forward. There's a lot of things that are going to be happening in this next school year.
For sure. Well, let's get to our guest here of the off season. One of those schools that's going to be in different classifications depending on the sport. Sun Valley Community School, the Cutthroats. They will be a 4A school in boys and girls soccer, because that's as low as it goes. If you're lower than that, hey, you get to play up. Congrats. They are going to be 2A in other athletic endeavors: volleyball, basketball, track and field, and those types of things, Scott. And this is a school we talk about a lot throughout the school year, and yet it's still kind of a little hidden nugget up there tucked away in central Idaho. And so we wanted to bring on athletic director and head boys soccer coach from Sun Valley Community School, Richard Whitelaw, to dish on all things Cutthroats. So Richard, welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Brandon, thanks very much for having me. Scott, good to see you again. I feel deeply honored and privileged to be a part of this world-class podcast. Wow. One that I listen to on a regular basis. So keep spreading the love, gentlemen.
Well, thank you, Richard. It's good to have you. And, you know, it's Brandon hit it right on the head. It's a hidden gem up where you're at. I had a daughter that played for Twin Falls Christian Academy, and we would come up and play the Cutthroats in basketball. And I was just marveled at kind of it's just tucked away in the trees a little bit, and kind of a couple of buildings for campuses. And it's like, this is a pretty cool place, you know? So yeah, I really dig what you guys have got going on down there.
And I was astonished to hear that Brandon has never been up here. And Scott, the invitation is always open for anyone who wants to come up and I'm more than happy to give you a grand tour of our campus and not only our area as well, because, life in Sun Valley is pretty good. Hence why I'm still here in the summer.
That's right. You don't have to go anywhere in the off season because
No.
there's more than enough activities to keep you busy up there, right? Well, you are coming to us from your classroom. You've written on the marker board behind you there, "Go Cutthroats." We can see it in red marker there. So you're the AD, Richard. You're also the head boys soccer coach, and you do a little bit of teaching also.
Yeah, I assist with middle school PE, which is really quite exciting because I'm in the fortunate position, Brandon, that every child from 2 years old to 18 virtually comes through my office throughout their career, because we're a pre-K through 12 school, and the gym is always the nerve center. And at times, our office, which I share with Stacy and Erica, who run the elementary and middle school program, it's like Grand Central Station. People just coming in. If faculty want to hide and get away, they always come into our office. There's always something going on, and it's the nerve center. And as we say, it's the office where we make dreams come true. So, yeah.
What is the enrollment you've got K through 12?
Just over 425, I think, K through 12. At the high school level now, we're up to about 183.
Oh, wow.
We have a senior graduating class of about 48, a ratio of, 8 students to 1 faculty member. So we're a pretty small school, relatively speaking.
Right. And you've got all of the K through 12s all just kind of all over the place in this same area.
Yeah, they always come through the gym for elementary and middle school PE. And that's the beauty of it, gents, is these young children just keep you so young. That's what I like best about it, and vibrant. And, it's really quite exciting. Whether I get any work done or not is another matter. But, it's good interacting with them on a daily basis and, being a part of their lives.
Well, it's cool that you get kind of the mix of old and young, and those older kids always being around those elementary kids. I mean, they're held accountable for some positive behavior and being good role models because, those little kids spend their whole day with them, basically passing in and out.
And then the beauty of it, we just had graduation, a week ago. And when they get up and they speak in front of everyone, just highlighting some of their careers, it's really quite phenomenal how they grow up so quickly and mature into fine young people, and they're very comfortable. But as you gentlemen know, time goes really quick, goes so quickly, and that's the best thing about it. They keep you young, but they grow up and then they're gone. And then you've got the next group coming in. So that's the best thing about it, just, being a part of their lives.
Yeah, you have seen a lot of graduating classes in your time at the community school up there in Sun Valley. We're going to talk mostly about the school and the Cutthroats, but we also wanted to know, how the heck did Richard Whitelaw end up at the Sun Valley community? I'll admit your accent is not an Idaho accent, and there is an Idaho accent, Scott. But Richard, we wanted to know a little bit about your journey and how you ended up here in Idaho.
So, born and raised in New Zealand, and like all good Kiwis, we're encouraged to travel and go and explore and see the big wide world, because New Zealand is made up of immigrants. My father was born in Scotland, and after he left the army, he emigrated with a couple of buddies in the mid-50s to settle in New Zealand. A lot of people from England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, Netherlands emigrated to New Zealand or Australia. So we're made up of a lot of the Commonwealth countries. And before you settle down and get married, and once you're finished with your, education in New Zealand, you're encouraged to, it's called the OE, overseas experience, to go and see the world. You could go to Australia, which is only 3,000 miles away, but culturally it is pretty much the same as New Zealand. So if you wanted to experience a different culture or way of life, you have to, spread your wings and go further away. And when I was 26, I left New Zealand. I got 2 years leave of absence from my sales job, just to go and travel with my best mate and see the world. And I just kept going. I left in January of 1985, and I've never been back, apart from 4 visits over the last 40 odd years. And that's the best thing about New Zealanders and Australians as well. We like to travel. There are a lot of different countries out there and cultures, and it was fascinating. I just kept going, and I ended up here in April of '87 when I was living in London with a couple of mates from New Zealand, and they had come out here to ski, and they were skiing at Sun Valley. And of course, they encouraged me to come and enjoy them. So I was working in a pub and I was playing soccer, and I saved up some money and came out here, and I arrived the weekend the mountain closed. And of course, it's the 80s. You're young, you're thin, you're single. And I thought it was the greatest place on earth. I mean, just the weather and the outdoors and the adventure. And it was just like New Zealand. And I'm still here, loving it.
So since then, in '87, that's where you planted your roots there.
Yeah.
And haven't left.
Yep, married, family, got a great job, best school in the state, and very happy and content. And this is it. I couldn't ask for anything more, Scott.
Well, how did you get into the education part of it?
Well, it was mainly through soccer, because when we first came here, they had a men's soccer team, but they didn't have a coach, and I was still young enough and still playing. So I started coaching both the men and women's team, the local team here. And then Eric Larson from Wood River High School reached out, and I became his assistant down at Wood River for a couple of years. This is in '87 and '88 and '89. And that's how I got into the coaching side, because I was in construction for years. That's how I was earning my money. And then eventually I was coaching a few players who went to community school, and their parents approached me. And after Bob Brock, the longtime coach, needed an assistant, and I came over and worked with him. And then he decided, well, I knew what I was doing, and he handed the program over to me. And that's how I got, this was 1992. So that's how I got involved in the community school and the soccer side of it. And then in 2008, 9, 10, when the economy wasn't doing so well with the recession, a number of changes were made at school, and I became the athletic director. When, there was a bit of upheaval and turmoil with regards to the recession, and, enrollment numbers dropping, and changes were made. And the previous AD, his position, I took over. So that was in 2011. I became AD full time, but I've been coaching for 32, 33 years now.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about the makeup of the community up there in Ketchum and in the Sun Valley? Because I feel like it's a place people are flying in and out of a lot, right?
Yeah, but I mean, the best thing about it, fellas, is we've got a world-class resort right in our back door. We've got one of the best ski mountains in the world. And, it's a destination for, the stars and other, yeah, it's just a wonderful area, just the scenery. It's the gateway to, paradise. I mean, everyone drives through our town. I can't speak highly enough about, what we've got right at our back door. I look out the window now, and we've got the creek flowing by here, and we've got fish running around out there as well. I mean, it's just so pristine. That's why you need to come up here. So if you're in the outdoors, especially with regards to, fishing, hiking, camping, biking, whatever you want to do, we've got it up here. So we're very fortunate. But, we have so many talented winter athletes now, all because of the mountain we've got right here.
And it's funny because, born and raised down here in the Magic Valley, and, back when I was in high school, Wood River was in our conference there, and so we had some good battles. But being familiar with the area, it's funny how that area has. I mean, it's always been different. It's just so vastly different than 50 miles south, right? But it's funny how what goes on up there really transcends into all of the athletics and the sports that are popular, that are good, kids are good at in Wood River and in Ketchum. And it's just funny because it is a different world. You guys have got obviously a really good hockey environment up there, and mountain biking clubs, and obviously the skiing. Tennis is huge up there. Obviously soccer. And those are the kind of the untraditional sports that really thrive in that area, a lot more so than anywhere else, I would say.
Yeah, because we're lucky. We have a lot of people who live here who've moved here from somewhere else, like me. And it's just such a wonderful area to raise children as well and have a family. I mean, recreating in New Zealand is a big deal. Everything is done outside, whether, as I said, enjoying the outdoors. And the community school is an extension of that, and especially Sun Valley. It's amazing, Brandon and Scott, how many people have never been up here. And once you come up here and appreciate everything that you got, at your fingertips, you soon fall in love with the place.
Yeah.
They, have a saying that the winters bring you here, but the summers keep you here. And that's what it is. And now, I certainly enjoy the summers a lot more because, the weather's gorgeous out there now. Everyone's out there hiking, running around. And I want to wear shorts and flip-flops all year long. But that's why I just think so many people don't know our story and our school and our area, and that's why I encourage, come up and see. I'll take you around. It's brilliant.
I can't believe you haven't been there, Brandon.
I know, boy. I feel like you guys are really piling on here. There is a really great on the community schools website, a very detailed history of the school, and I was reading it earlier this week. The school started in 1973 in the basement of a church, and it was St. Thomas Episcopal Church in Ketchum. 30 students, 3 faculty members, 4 volunteers, and now it's stretched to a graduating class in the 40s or 50s. Student enrollment over 400, pre-K through 12. Just in the time that you've been there, Richard, how much has the community or the school body grown?
We're at our max with regards to Trail Creek campus and what we can do with the building. So we're at a good number. Our enrollment's the highest it's ever been. We just haven't got enough room to increase numbers, especially from the academic point of view. We've come a long way since 1973, but when Sam Hazard formed the school, it was more nature-based education, outdoor adventure, which has continued into the school. And over the years, we've just got bigger and better, and the programs we offer, especially regards to the outdoor program, is what makes us unique and special. Because we are a college prep school with a college-based curriculum, inquiry-based learning, and outdoors plays a heavy role in our school. As you know, that we go on numerous trips throughout the years, in the fall, spring, and winter. When I have to reschedule many games because I tell everyone, hey, we're not going to be we need to move the date because everyone's gone camping. And they look at you and think you're crazy, and they don't understand that, for the first 3 days of school, when we come back in the fall, we divide up into groups from 6th through 12th grade, and we go backpacking for 3 days. And these students are very fortunate because they get exposed to the outdoors at a young age. And if you ask any graduating senior what was one of your highlights from, attending Sun Valley Community School, they all say, the outdoor program. They get comfortable being outdoors. thinking for themselves. It's, having that adventure side of you. So we're very fortunate in that regard. The school is all about academics and outdoors, arts, and athletics as well. But we're very, very fortunate with our school and what these students, get to do in the future.
Well, you guys have some very unique qualities, being kind of the small private school. I mean, people talk about public school and the student-teacher ratio. I mean, if I remember correctly or read correctly, you guys are about a 6-to-1 ratio, which is insane. And that obviously facilitates a lot of learning because you get that time. But you also have an interesting boarding program. Is that correct?
Yeah. So 11 years ago, we introduced a boarding component with regards to having skiers come, and they would be at school full year round, and they would join the Sun Valley Ski Education Foundation and ski. And that's what it has. And now this year, I think we're at 36 is our max we can hold in our dorm residence. And that's proved to be really beneficial because we've had international students and students from throughout all the country who want to come here and progress to the next level skiing. And we can offer them that opportunity with, Bald Mountain being right there, as well as providing them an education, which is going to benefit them in the future. So that's been so positive, and it's good for the community, good for the day students here as well, getting to interact with other students from other countries.
And you've got over 15 countries represented.
Throughout the years. No one from New Zealand yet, so I'm waiting for that.
You need to go and to go down south.
You're gonna have to go on a recruiting trip, Richard.
The funny thing, if I just out of interest, my son went to community school here from an early age and spent his entire life here, and now Keegan is living in New Zealand for the past 2 years. So it's pretty ironic. He's there and I'm here. So there you go. And it's that sense of adventure that he would have got nowhere else, but he got it from community school. So he's embraced that and off he's gone.
Wow.
So you have students that come in and stay in the dormitories, and then when the school year is over, do they just go back home to wherever mom and dad were at during the year?
The most of them, yes, after graduation go back home, but summer school starts next week. So for an extensive 3 weeks, a lot of these winter athletes will come back, move back into the dorm, and do a 3-week course where they can load up on all their classes that they'll miss over the winter period, because it's amazing how much school they do miss because they're out competing at national events all over the place. So that's the beauty of the dorm. The dorm, a wonderful facility, and we're pretty fortunate. And it's good with these students interacting with our students too. It's a top-notch facility. We're very, very fortunate in that. And we've had some wonderful, talented skiers come through, that building.
Yeah, I mean, the way you're describing it sounds like a college campus with things to do for the students. Now, I don't know that there's a lot of college campuses that can boast having a world-class ski hill and beautiful forests and trees, but it's a cool atmosphere.
It's about 40 plus acres, isn't it?
Yeah. We're pretty fortunate. We've got a great facility with regards to strength and conditioning. We've got a wonderful kitchen. The rooms are better than college dormitories for sure. The mountains right there. But admittedly, they do work very hard. We have a academic coordinator that goes with them on all their trips because throughout the year, once school starts, they're off at training camps, or in the winter, they're out competing at events. So they are challenged pretty heavily, that's for sure. It's not as though they go away on all these ski events and not do anything. They're always studying. And they've done well to balance a lot with regards to their skiing and academics as well. So, they really work really hard.
Yeah, in terms of sports that are sanctioned by the Idaho High School Activities Association, Sun Valley Community School participates in soccer, basketball, tennis, track and field. Am I missing anything there, Richard?
So in the fall, we have volleyball, cross country, running, and soccer. In the winter, we have basketball. And in the spring, we have golf, tennis, and track. But we have numerous other sports these children are involved with too, Brandon. We had a girl play for Wood River softball this year. We've had boys play for Wood River football. Club lacrosse is a big deal now in this town. Club soccer is huge. Club volleyball. We have skaters. We have We've got a mountain bike team in the fall now, which competes. So we've got numerous activities. All these children are doing something, and it's not as though they're sitting around. And we have more than 60% playing in the Idaho High School Activities Association sport, and we're pretty proud of these students are participating in something. And there's a myriad of sports up here they can compete in. And that's why I think we've got a lot of good athletes, is because they do multiple sports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something we talked about before we came on the air, Richard, is there's this loggerhead that's happening where some coaches are saying, like for example, you're a soccer coach. Hey, I want you playing soccer 24/7 year round. Don't worry about the other sports. At a school your size, your programs all die if you adopt that philosophy. You need athletes participating in multiple sports throughout the year.
Oh yeah, yes we do. I mean, especially in the winter when you see the drop off because everyone's outdoors enjoying their winter activities. Especially with regards to something like basketball, everyone's outside and enjoying the winter. And we aren't as strong in a couple of sports because we don't have the numbers. Over 40% of the upper school are on the ski team. So that's a lot of athletes. But, we give them an opportunity to play. That's the best thing. We don't cut anyone. We can try and have as many teams as we can. We'll give everyone an opportunity to play and, compete. And one of our guiding principles is, try something different, do multiple things. I mean, embrace challenges. It's all the stuff we preach about with regards to our mission of these students. Give them something, else they can compete with. So the multi-sport athlete is something, we strive for and proud of. And when these children do leave, Brandon, you can see that they've tried it all. And they're very well-rounded student athletes, and that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah, what's that relationship like with Wood River? You talked about if there's a kid that wants to play football or baseball or softball, one of those sports that the community school doesn't offer.
Yeah, so that's the best thing. Wood River's, we love Wood River. We love the Wolverines, except when we play them in soccer because they always beat us, but no, Wood River's great. So any sport we don't offer, our students can play for them. As I said, we've had softball, baseball, swimmers, and the relationship with Wood River is great. I mean, we compete with them in tennis and soccer, not so much in basketball, but I mean, they're just 13 miles down the road. So again, Kevin Stilling does a wonderful job down there. I mean, and all these students, gentlemen, know each other because they play club sports together, whether it be lacrosse, soccer, or volleyball. So everyone knows everyone. And we've had students transfer between the two schools. So it's a small valley, that's for sure. And, Haley, most of us live down in Haley.
Yeah. Are there any sports? What would it take for a IHSAA sanctioned sport to be added to Sun Valley Community School? So, like for example, a baseball program. Would you have to have enough kids come to you and say we're interested in this?
I think it comes down to facilities. We haven't got any room on campus. We've only got our gymnasium on campus for basketball and volleyball. We use Wood River Middle School track for training for track. We run up in the hills for cross country. We've got the Sage Willow Complex in Elkhorn is where we host 3 wonderful soccer fields. So to add another sport would prove difficult because there's nowhere to play. That's what it comes down to. Plus, we haven't got the numbers. It wouldn't be viably possible to have a football team and a soccer team because you haven't got enough players. That's the big drawback. And as I said, we're under 200 students, so there's not a lot of other options.
Plus, we all know what the real football is, and that's soccer, anyways. So.
Don't let the ADs in our conference hear you say that. Yeah. Hey, I'm trying to change it. I'm trying to get Stacey Wilson from Buell and Scott Burton to love soccer.
Well, I tell you what, I have more of an appreciation for it now. That was something that I didn't grow up with. I didn't grow up with soccer, and it's still soccer to me. And I'm gradually learning to incorporate the term football, but I have to say it football. Isn't that technically correct?
No, we just call it football, soccer, association football. Right. I'm not worried about the little stuff. But Scott, one good thing, if it comes from soccer, is the addition of men and women's soccer to CSI and having Alex down there coaching. I mean, this is huge. When I spoke to Joel Bate a few years ago about, that he was thinking about having soccer, it's like, this is great because there are so many talented soccer players out there that haven't got the opportunity to extend their education. And I believe they're going to be using Jerome Fields in the future.
Yeah, so they're building their brand new complex right now, and it's going to be south of Jerome, probably it's about a mile south of the high school, but it won't be ready for the fall. So actually, I've got a meeting with Alex and some others hopefully next week because we're trying to get their home games, all of their home games next year at Jerome High School. But yeah, it's you're right. It's been exciting. We've already sent a bunch of our soccer kids, boys and girls, to CSI. So
it's the best. I mean, as I said, so many talented players, and now finally they can hopefully continue with the academics and have an outlet to play. It's so exciting. I can't wait to see it in full force.
It's exciting for sure. I was going to ask you about the community up there. A lot of times, like at a school at Jerome, for example, you'll want some of that graduating class to come back to Jerome, come back home and make a difference in their own community. But how many of those kids that walk through the doors at Sun Valley Community School come back to have families and start their life in Ketchum? Or is it really a network of cutthroats that are all over the United States and all over the world?
We're pretty fortunate here. We've got a number of faculty who are alum. Erica Daly in our PE office, who runs the middle school PE, is a former soccer player, basketball player and student. So she's back here teaching full time and having her own family. A lot of them do come back because their parents are still here. And of course, this is a great place to vacation, and they have ties to the community. And then a lot of them too, when they get out in the big wide world, realize there's so much more to offer as well. So in answer to your question, Brandon, yes, they do come back because they just realize how much, was offered to them when they're younger, and they want to reap the benefits again. This is, as I said, great place to raise children. You've got something of everything here.
Yeah. I was going to ask too about the gym, the basketball and volleyball gym. I love getting your emails with the scores from the results.
The fish tank.
Tonight from the fish tank. Was that something that it was already dubbed that when you came on board, or who came up with that?
Yeah, I think it's always been the fish tank. We've got a big logo of the cutthroat fish in the middle of the of the gym floor. We like our gym. It's a very small, intimate gym littered with banners of skiing and soccer and tennis. We just need to get basketball up there. We did win state volleyball in 1984. So
And
there
in
you
fact,
go.
Cutthroats, I mean, you guys were opened in 73, but Cutthroats didn't become your mascot until 83.
Yes.
And so,
is it? I think so.
yeah, I think if I researched that correctly, that's what I found out. And so I'm interested to know what you were called for those 10 years.
Hey, I've got a cutthroat tattoo. There you go.
You are committed. You are committed.
Yeah.
Well, see, you can't go anywhere now.
Yeah. That's why we love our school.
Yeah. Wow. And so how much longer do you have till you can retire and just enjoy life up in Sun Valley?
And until I'm dead, I'll just pass out up at the soccer field, and you can just, after a match, just leave me there.
I figured that was your answer, because you're kind of in it for all the right reasons. It's
like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do now? I mean, I love it here, and of course, got to keep coaching soccer. But this is a good place. If I visit New Zealand, I may never come back, so I better stay put where I am.
You'd be just like a boomerang. They threw you out, and eventually you're going to whip your way back around, back to New Zealand. Oh, well, Richard.
What are the chances of getting you to go to New Zealand, Brandon, if you haven't been up here to Sun Valley yet? So,
yeah. Well, I'll tell you, on the list of priorities, Sun Valley is ahead of New Zealand. Yeah. I'll tell you that.
I've been to Sun Valley. I'm all for New Zealand now.
Yeah. I mean, the home of rugby. We've got the greatest rugby team in the world. Cricket. I mean, there's great fishing, hunting, recreating, barbecue, lots of good wines now, beers. It's perfect, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, I'm going to start looking up plane tickets. That sounds amazing to me.
Well, Richard, you kind of casually, when you were telling us your story of how you ended up in Idaho, you kind of just casually mentioned, I was in this sales job, and they let me take a 2-year leave of absence, a 2-year sabbatical. I'm kind of like jotting down some notes on how I'm going to ask my boss, Paul Kingsbury, for a 2-year sabbatical to travel.
He'll let you do it. Yeah. I remember they wrote to me. This is before, communication was a lot different. They sent me a letter after about 4 years and said, by the way, are you coming back? And there you go. Yeah.
You had to break their hearts, Richard.
But we love Idaho. We love all you guys. So I'm pretty fortunate. All my best friends are here now, and Scott, in our world of athletics, I mean, all the ADs are so brilliant to work with, and IHSAA does a brilliant job, and same with Idaho Sports. And the thing is, you all care for these students. That's what it is, and that's what I find so rewarding is, everyone cares about them, and having an education-based athletics is a big deal in their lives. And as you know, if they can just graduate with some positive memory and come back, you've done your job. I'm now coaching second-generation players, and that really hits home. It's like, wow. So, yeah. But I feel, this Kiwi all the way, living overseas, I feel very fortunate. So, call this place home. So I'm lucky.
Yeah. And you're also very active. I mean, in the AD world, I mean, we're all really good friends, and, and I consider you a good friend, and everybody gets along so well. But you're also doing other things. So you're in charge of the sportsmanship committee. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm on the committee on our conference at the state level. Yeah, that's something we always continually striving to improve and work with. Sportsmanship has become more of an issue over the years with regards to, rogue coaches or rogue parents or rowdy fans. And the state does a good job, and especially Mike Federico leading the way with that. It's a lot of work, and you can't stress how important it is to everyone's lives. And we can't lose sight of the fact that sportsmanship is a big deal. A lot of people poo-poo it, and you know what it's like with fans and parents yelling and screaming, and we just want everyone to just chill out and tone it down a bit. And it's a work in progress, but a lot of our students here have taken the reins and certainly out there promoting it, and they do a great job across the state. And it's just baby steps, and we'll just keep plugging away. And it's an important part of athletics.
Yeah, Scott, in the Magic Valley, this was a couple of weeks ago now, but IHSAA handed out their Schools of Excellence Awards, right? It's for athletics, academics, and sportsmanship. We had Kimberly and Declo each win the award for the entire state for their respective classifications. That was a former league mate of yours, Richard. You guys are on the elevator a lot. You're going up to play Declo and Wendell, and then you're dropping back down to play some of those other smaller schools. What was that experience like?
We're number 3 this year in 2A. Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, playing Declo and Wendell, especially in the major sports, were pretty competitive. And travel for us is a big deal, especially in the winter, and even for soccer. Closest game is 2 hours away. We enjoy our relationship with the smaller schools because we've competed against them for so long. So, playing Camas and Richfield and Dietrich and Bliss, it's a big deal to us, and we like having those relationships. We're not in the conference to win state championships. We just want to give our players an opportunity to excel. But travel is a big deal up here. Sometimes it's difficult, especially in the winter. But no one comes to community school to say, I want to play for Richard and play soccer. They're here for other things. And that's the best part about it.
Yeah, it's a really cool, unique environment that you've got up there in the Sun Valley. And so, Richard, we really appreciate you coming on to talk to us and pump up the Cutthroats. It's kind of this hidden mystery, and we kind of hear about you guys during state soccer and during tennis time maybe, but the rest of the year, I feel like you guys are doing so many things outside of the realm of the athletics that we're looking at. I really wanted you to come on and talk about everything that incorporates the community school, and you did a fantastic job.
Well, Brendan, thank you. I mean, as I said, I could spout off forever. I'd like to talk a lot about our school and things I'm passionate about. And, you just instill that passion and enthusiasm to your students and your athletes. And as I said, you've got to come up here and just experience what I experience on a daily basis. And, we're so, so fortunate. And, the small private schools especially get a bad rap sometimes because people don't know our story. But if you can sit down with someone or show them, where you come from and what you're offering and what you're trying to do, especially for the community, it makes a big difference. And that's why people get a different sense of what we're about when they do finally come up here. And as I said, that opportunity for anyone is always open. I can show you a good time.
All right. The invitation's out there, Scott. We'll have to take a road trip.
Yeah. Richard, me, you, and Kevin are going to have to take this young one around town and show him what it's all about.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey. Well, gentlemen, thanks for having me on. As I said, I feel privileged, and I appreciate all the good work you're doing promoting, athletics in our state and spreading the word. And, it's the same thing. Just everyone be kind. Yeah, just be kind. It's a different world out there now, and just we'll be fine.
Yeah, it's a good way to end it for sure. Richard Whitelaw, the athletic director and head boys soccer coach at Sun Valley Community School. Thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, gentlemen.
All right. Take care, Richard.
Have a good summer.
Yep. You too. Bye. You too. All right, Scott, there you go. That was our first off-season interview here for the Magic Valley Prepcast. I thought that was a good one.
Oh, yeah. Richard is such a good guy. He is just one of the genuinely nicest people you will ever meet. And, I really admire the guy. I mean, I consider him a good friend, and Really, really have not one single bad thing to say about the dude. I did forget to ask him about the dreadlocks though, because
we can bring him back on if you want to. You want to? Richard, we have a bonus question for you. Scott does.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, and I'm going to preface it by saying this: you came into the Valley late '80s. I graduated in the late '80s, so I kind of knew who, this guy was that had come in and was doing things in Wood River, and it was always about who is the guy with the accent and the dreadlocks. And so the dreadlocks, I got to hear about it.
Oh, no, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. When I first went to my AD meeting, I was laughing up here and I said, wait till these guys get a load of me when I roll into, down in Twin Falls and they see me. And, it's like, as Randy Spaeth likes to say, dare to be different, be yourself. And, no, the guy, the late John Carney, I worked for painting. We were at Sun Valley Lodge one Christmas Eve when they did the Torchlight Parade. And I just washed my hair and I was there with my wife, Jamie, and family and enjoying the Torchlight Parade and having a few cocktails. And my hair was drying and it was all over the place. And Jeannie Carney said, have you ever thought about having dreadlocks because you got really curly hair? And so every time I'd wash my hair, I wouldn't dry it, and it just started matting itself. And my wife used to give me a hard time saying I looked like a troll who lived under the bridge. And now I've just kept going. And the school has always said, if we need a fundraiser, will you cut your hair? And, because they said we could raise thousands of dollars. But now past the point of no return, and this is with me forever. And, you're more welcome to have a dread when I finally drop dead on the soccer field. And so I've just kept going. And, it's like that's how people identify me, the guy with the accent and the hair. And you just get used to it. So it's all fun. And they're just jealous. That's all.
I would agree. You certainly burst onto the scene as soon as you got here. Accents and dreads. And it's like, well, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And then you get to know you. And it's like, all right. Dude's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're all the same. We're all in it for the same reason. So that's my hair story. But I can never cut it, that's for sure. So I've got to keep going.
Can we get the show part of show and tell? We got the tell. Can you just show us real quick?
Oh, well, it's one of the Callista Phillips in our middle school just braided it at our meeting. It's really long, so it's just in a braid. And hey, it's just hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're jealous, Brandon. I can see that.
Yes. I have envy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's an important lesson because you can just judge based upon, funny accent, dreadlocks. But like you said, Richard, that's just a small part of you. And we've had such a great time getting to know you a little bit better and knowing the person inside too. So
we'll keep up the good work.
All right. Thanks, Richard. We appreciate it. Thanks, care.
Guys.
Bye. All right, Scott, we will do one more of these with a to be determined guest at some point in July as well. Yep. But the off-season of interviews will continue. In fact, our next interview next week, Scott, will be from East Idaho, the East Idaho Prepcast. We're going to talk to Highland baseball coach Christian Colonel, and he's got a lot of different interesting stories. It might be a longer one, but there's a lot of good stuff to cover with Coach Colonel. Right. And so looking forward to that.
Yeah, these are really nice little changes of pace because, part of what we keep preaching is we want to know the people, and that's one of the good things about Idaho sports is we really make an effort to get to know the people. Anybody can report a score and a box score, but, this is a whole new element to what we do. And love hearing people's stories because everybody's got one. And Richard just shared his and boy, how interesting was that. And so, this is exciting. This is fun.
The Cutthroats. I still say it's the coolest team name in Idaho in terms of, high schools and their mascots. And There's a lot of tigers out there, but there's only one cutthroat.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Well, I was doing the state baseball tournament, and I'm like, the maniacs, the Orofino maniacs. I go, there's my winner right there. But if you were to make a top 3 or top 5 or whatever, cutthroats are right there. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things about that area and a lot of cool things about that school. And if you've not been to Sun Valley, then by dang it, you need to go check it out. It's definitely just a different area that's so separate from the rest of Idaho.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, real quick, speaking of the Maniacs, Scott, this reminds me, we can plug. We tried something new this year at IdahoSports.com throughout the month of June. We are holding a Team of the Year competition. We took a state champion from 16 different sports, 8 boys, 8 girls. We randomly assigned them to a bracket, and we had the fans vote. And basically, the fans are going to decide who was the Team of the Year. We had a couple of Magic Valley teams in there. We had the Wood River boys soccer team. We had the Kimberly softball team. They're still in it. They are in the quarterfinals right now, Scott. So fans can go to IdahoSports.com and vote each day in all of the matchups for the team they want to see advance in the bracket. It's kind of a cool deal.
Oh, it's a very cool deal. These little things that we do and these fan engagements, and it just keeps people still interested in sports, even though it's summertime. But yeah, it's a really cool idea that come up with, and yeah, I'm excited to see who wins.
Yeah, Kimberly softball is going up against Sugar Salem girls soccer. I'll just say to Bulldog Nate, Sugar Salem's won enough things. Like, let's they don't need a pretend bracket win all of a sudden now.
But it really does gives a quick shout out to all the fan bases that are out there, and because really the fan bases, that's what's winning. The team is secondary. Who's got the biggest fan base is going to get behind this team, right? And that's what you learn through this.
Yep. So it's going to be fun. Quarterfinals this week, semifinals next week, and then the championship between the last 2 remaining teams in 2 weeks. It's all starts each Monday. A new round starts each Monday at IdahoSports.com. So go vote. Scott, enjoy the rest of your June. We'll probably see you again here on the Prepcast in July.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep up the good work with all the summer stuff going on. And I'm going to go mow some yards do what I do in the summer.
If you're looking to get away, my lawn needs mowed as well, Scott. You could just come up to Coeur d'Alene and
yeah, no kidding, right? I'll just hop on the walker and drive on up there, and we'll get you taken care of. On in order.
Yeah, it'll be on the schedule. That's for sure. All right.
Perfect.
Big thanks for tuning in, everybody, to this off-season edition of the Magic Valley Prepcast. This will be in the Prepcast feed as well for North Idaho, Treasure Valley, and East Idaho. And again, we're going to do one interview every week here through June and July from different regions of the state. So next week, East Idaho Prepcast with Sean Kane and myself. And then the week after that will be the North Idaho Prepcast. And then we'll hit everybody again in July. But until then, for Scott Burton, my name is Brandon Baney. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your summer here on Idaho Sports.